Yo, how we doing? How we doing? Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's up? How we doing today? How you guys doing, man? Welcome in. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Dead Space Remake. We are gonna finally stream this game successfully. Did not go too well. Last time was second I need to adjust was I guess it wasn't really out yet because I guess it didn't come out until January 28th. So apparently the US had an early access, so Twitch did not allow you to stream it, or there was going to be some penalties. Twitch is kind of strict about streaming games early. So Xbox just completely blocked it until 9 p.m. Pacific time on the 29th. And that's why I couldn't stream it until then. Doesn't really make sense because the release date everywhere said 8 a.m. on the 28th, but that's all over with now. So yeah, here we are. We're actually finally going to stream this. I was playing the original as well, and so far I'm happy with this game. I just don't think it's as intense or as scary or as dangerous as the original. The sound is not as good, but I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt, and I am still liking the game. I think they did a good job with the graphics. It's a fun game, and especially when you just finish watching The Last of Us. Watch the latest episode of that. Excellent episode. Really loved it. They're doing a great job with the show, and so I felt like this would be a good fit to follow that up with, since I'm definitely in the mood for streaming this game. But let's get right into it. Yeah, so we had a few things going on drama-wise. I'm kind of over it at this point. I'm just going to kind of focus on doing what I'm doing. I'm just going to allow a couple people to fill in here. These late night streams tend to get to be a little slow. But shout out to all the people who do come through and watch. I do appreciate it. Let me know how the sound is. Anything too loud, too quiet, do let me know. Alright. And then you have these side objectives. See, this is not in the original game. I think these are pretty cool. Yeah, I kind of want to see where this Nicole situation. I guess I've got to go back. I want to investigate, or you know what, we can do that later. I didn't realize that objective was there. We'll get back to the main objective for the time being. Alright, let's see, what do we have to do? We need to refuel the engines south. Okay. No power. Just having myself a little coffee here, you know how I do. Well, that thing is not turning on. See if we can find anything over here that'll work.
Logging security card.
I do like how they have incorporated some new elements and mechanics into the game here or there. And it does freshen things up well enough. See, we don't need to go this way. I think now we can turn on that thing. They did make this a lot darker. Like, you have to use your gun, flashlight more. Which I think is kind of cool.
Refueling sequence activated. Sufficient fuel to fire primary engine.
Okay, I've got a fuel reading. Only a quarter full, but it should be enough.
I still need to get the centrifuge working before restart. Someone really screwed with these fuel lines.
Move fast, Isaac. Aegis 7's looking damn close out there.
Yeah, they did make it a lot darker. Like, in the original game, you could always kind of see where everything was, but it was a lot more, it was just a lot more, like, high contrast lighting. Like, they would have, like, this overpowering light source, and that made it, like, more stressful. So they had certain parts that were just like kind of overlit, or that would have very bright flashing strobes, and it was like a stressful kind of lighting. Even though you could see, it was not comfortable. But here they just kind of darken everything down, and you use the light on your gun more. So I think it's a welcome change. It's something different. I mean, a horror game is generally supposed to be dark. I like them both. I like it both ways. Yo, what's up, Guero? Welcome. Um, and so they do have, they did keep all of like the major scenes. I mean, it is the same story. Some of the scenes, though, like meaning like when a monster infects somebody, you know, like the special events kind of, they did change a bit. They added their own spin on it. And it doesn't have to be like a carbon copy. I think the scares are maybe not quite as effective as the original. But I do appreciate them doing something new. I just don't think they quite understand horror as well as the original developers. You know, in the original, they really scared you with like loud noises and just this sudden music, and the sound was like center stage. And this, like, enemies kind of just randomly come up behind you. So not quite as scary. But I appreciate the innovation nonetheless. The game definitely looks good. They traded in like the harsh lighting for darker shadows, and they kind of went for a more traditional, darker visual style. I think it works.
Clearance confirmed.
But yeah, pretty much the same story. And I think they did kind of downgrade it. I'm not crazy about Isaac talking. I mean, if they wanted him to talk, they should have had him like a full talking character. Like, he barely says anything. Sorry about that, just taking a drink of water.
Decontamination sequence activated. Please stand by.
Oh, okay, you can sprint backwards. I didn't realize that. And Isaac is faster. He is more, he moves around faster. And you die a lot less. The game is softer, and it's safer.
Decontamination sequence complete. Thank you for your patience.
Wow, what a great decontamination sequence. We got blood over everything. Did a great job. Yeah, the game is you don't die nearly as much. They added different little stuff to make it easier. You're not full on inventory, like your inventory isn't filling up nearly as much. You don't die as much. It just has a softer, safer feel. Like the original Dead Space is kind of hardcore. And this game reminds me tremendously of Callisto Protocol. Yo, what's up, T-Mac? Yeah, the game looks very good. They darkened it. It's no longer this intense, like, stressful thing. It's kind of just, it's more casual, but I like it. I enjoy the game. I think the changes are welcome. Not as scary, not as dangerous. But it's really fun. Good time. These little things are still just as annoying. Let me know how the audio is. If anything's too loud or too quiet. Text log. Rig unavailable for priority message. Transcript provided. See, I wish when you pick up a message you could just, when you go back, it doesn't just close the whole thing, so you can kind of read other ones. But I haven't been scared in this game. When a lot of enemies are here and you're running around shooting and there's explosions, it does get exciting. This is like a cooler, smoother, kind of more casual version of Dead Space. The original game, and I was just playing it. I was stressed out, and I've beaten it like 3 times. But this, I don't think I've been scared. The jump scares, how the enemies appear, they made some changes to those. It's really the sound, and Glenn Schofield talked a lot about that. The sound effects and the environment is really what made the original scary. And they just haven't really captured that. But then we have
Centrifuge offline. Please attach generator modules manually.
But then we have the flying system, which is a nice change. See these enemies? Like in the original, when you have to like jump to another surface, it's very stressful. But here, it's just the enemies are kind of like whatever. Alright, let's see if we can figure this out. We have to activate the centrifuge.
module attached.
Yeah, it does look really good. Yeah, the enemies are not as hostile. If you haven't played it yet, I can guarantee you you're not going to be as scared. You will be impressed. It's cool. It's fun. It's just not as scary and not as dangerous. Like, I've barely died, and I'm playing on medium.
Generator module
And
attached. Clutch engaged. All personnel clear for centrifuge restart.
Guess we better get clear. And I'm on the original. I was playing on medium, and I was dying a lot. I barely died in this one. It's just scarier. It's the sound, the atmosphere. So instead, though, what they could have done is, like, the story, right? Isaac is now, I guess, technically a talking character. He's not really. He barely says anything. He says a few lines when he gets called over the communication device. He's really not a talking character, and you don't even see his face. Barely.
Centrifuge activated. Re-establishing balance with tectonic load.
Like, a talking character will usually have comments, and you'll see their face. You know, they could have given him like a clear mask, like in Callisto Protocol. Let's see what we need to do. Manually ignite engines. You do see his face. His mask comes off, but it's like barely. So I don't really see the point of even doing that. And in the original, he's like a it's almost like Isaac is like a victim.
Looks like the centrifuge is back online. All that's left is restarting the engines, right? Ready when you are.
Damn. Yo, that almost fucked me up. I wasn't even paying attention. Jesus. I think Isaac talking, I think it was perfectly fine the way it was. And that way, like, it's the enemies and the way you get killed that is like brings the game to life. You don't need a character talking all the time, and then the other characters that are talking to you to kind of tell you what's going on, and then the ship is falling apart, so there's enough to communicate you know, the situation. You don't need the character to always be filling the void all the time. You know what I mean? Isaac, he's more of like a victim in the without being a talking character, rather than just like, it's really the ship and everything that's kind of takes center stage. But I mean, it's cool if they wanted to make him an actual character, but they just didn't really. They totally half-assed it. Yo, what's up, Vision? You gotta be up in 6.5 hours. Yeah, I should have streamed earlier, but I didn't know The Last of Us was going to be that long. Yeah, for all the East Coast people, it is. I know it is difficult for these streams. People on the West Coast are streaming early. I think if there's, as long as someone, oh, here we go. Here's the drag tentacle. The famous scene. Here we go. This is the scene that caused them so much difficulty in the original game. I guess we gotta shoot parts of it now. Let me get a gun that has some ammo. Okay, was that it? That was the drag? The famous drag tentacle, that's it? Because that thing is supposed to drag you hella far, and then it's like, doesn't stop. Why was it stopping? Like I'm supposed to shoot the weak point? I don't remember that in the original. I do not remember that part in the original.
Position approaching critical. Correct course immediately.
In the original, it drags you hella far, and it's like constantly dragging you. See what I mean? Like, it's cool, it looks cool. It's just safer. It's not as stressful. I mean, it's all good. They did a good job with this game. I think I might have missed something back here. These enemies appearing behind me, they're not scaring me too much. Or at all. And I get that they wanted to go for that. But I don't know, it's not as effective. Oh well, it's still good. No big deal. Not a deal breaker. Doesn't break the game or anything. So you guys work from home or used to work from home? That's the way to go right now. Everybody's working from home. Work on your own time. Don't have to drive into work. I don't think the protagonist has to talk. If other characters are talking, that can tell you what's going on. As long as someone is talking, I don't think the protagonist has to talk. As long as that story is coming across. I need ammo. It does look very good, but it makes me really think of Callisto Protocol. Like, it's sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. Like if the camera was a little bit closer to Isaac and he moved a little bit slower, I would swear it was Callisto Protocol. And with that being said, then you think of the vibration, which is a disappointment, because coming from Callisto Protocol, which had excellent vibration and most likely DualSense support, apparently it was very good, and I imagine it would be. They really could have done way better. Like in that game, you get vibration when you take a step, when a door opens, and a lot of the sounds are pretty similar. But yeah, the vibration support added a lot of immersion. I do not work from home. One thing that I really like is that you no longer have these pointless nodes. Like in the original game, you would have to upgrade a node, like you would have to use a power node just to reach the next upgrade. Like they would just be empty ones for no reason. And so now, all of them are actual upgrades. Like you would invest nodes for like nothing. Just upgrade to get closer to being able to upgrade. Like the opening doors in Callisto Protocol, like everything has vibration. That vibration adds a lot of physicality and immersion. And in that game, I was scared a lot more. That is more stressful. Story's not great. It's not bad, but I like the protagonist. The environments are kind of repetitive. You know, they're kind of like the same corridor over and over. But the combat was very fun. It was more stressful.
Got it. Isaac, fuel storage is unlocked. It'll give you access to the engine chamber.
And at least they got like new actors and whatnot in this game.
Entering zero gravity.
So they didn't
Hey,
just...
Hammond, I cracked the secure files. DEC was here for more than just a mining claim, huh?
What do you mean?
This outbreak started on the colony after the miners dug up some artifacts. Something alien.
That's impossible.
But it would explain why Aegis 7 is meant to be off limits, right? Earth Gust orders. When the miners found the artifact, they reported hallucinations, paranoia, suicides. But the Ishimura brought this marker on board anyway. Like that was a plan.
Wait. The marker?
Okay, back up. Where's this marker now?
In cargo. All packaged up for delivery.
So then what's better, going to college or online classes? So online classes take tens of thousands of dollars. Online classes are... I would worry that like if you need help with stuff, it would be harder to get help from like other people. But then I guess in college, like universities tend to be really competitive, and people don't help each other as much. To me, it seems like going to college and getting into a college is kind of maybe a waste of time for those who are not fresh out of high school, and you know, if you don't want that college experience, then it's hard to justify it. And we got to go through here. The controls in this game, very smooth. The feels very good. I just wish it had better vibration support. Like you get a little bit like right now when you're in zero gravity. I guess because he has magnetic boosts, but Callisto Protocol. Fuck this thing up with a saw. Callisto Protocol has vibrations for every little thing.
Exiting zero gravity.
But other than that, it feels good. Did I beat Forspoken? Yes, I beat Forspoken. Story is trash. I'm gonna be honest. And I don't really even like Frey. I was hoping she would grow on me, but it's just her acting. Loud shit here. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Jesus. Okay, so now we have the flamethrower. See, in the original, you get the flamethrower, and you can craft another gun like way earlier. But yeah, that actor, she's probably a good actor if she's not forced to use an American accent. And I don't really get what is the benefit of doing that. Like, I mean, do they really have to save money that badly? Where they have to get a British actor? Just like in The Last of Us, Frank is British. Like, there's just British actors everywhere. And I looked it up, and I guess England has like the best acting schools in the world, and they're more trained in theater and like classically trained. Whereas like Americans just want to go straight to Hollywood, and I guess they charge a bunch of money. But that Frey, yeah, no, that acting is. Sometimes she sounds like she has a southern accent. The energy doesn't fit what's the situation. The writing is childish. Burn this motherfucker. Dialogue, the writing, the story. There's really nothing. I did like Cuff. Cuff is cool. That's about it. And she may be edgy in terms of her cussing, but I need that performance to be there. virtually everything about the story is trash. But it's a fun game. I'm gonna keep playing the end game. Gonna do everything that I skipped past and didn't do as I was playing through it. So I look to have a good time continuing to play the game. Manually ignite the engines. I like the range on this flamethrower. How it's kind of like a projectile type of thing. Oh, we got a survivor? Not really.
Clearance confirmed.
Now, there's a lot of ways you can get a good paying job without a degree. Like all the side hustles you hear about. And then like Gen Z is making strides towards benefits, workers' rights, better work-life balance. Gen Z is not putting up with shit. They want good pay. They want a company that they align with. They want a good work environment. And they seem like they're not afraid to just jump around and job hop until they can find that. And they like big corporations. Like millennials were into those little startups and everything. Which one of those startups actually amounted to... I mean, I guess a lot of them probably... What's a startup from the millennial era that turned into like a big company? Little goddamn bugs. That whole independent and small businesses and startups and ecologically friendly and all that. It's really the money that looks like it ended up being the most important. Because now everything's controlled by huge corporations acquiring other huge corporations. So it all comes down to profits at the end of the day. So that startup thing didn't last too long. planetfall is imminent. See, like all this time, Isaac is not saying a damn thing. And so when he does, it's just like weird. Like we don't see his face, we don't hear him talk, doesn't have anything to say, and then he sounds like a kind of like a nerd or like some little weasel or some shit. Like he doesn't have the voice of like a tough survivor. Looks like I'm not going in the right direction. But we're gonna see what's in here. Like, where's the music when all this is happening?
Engine power failure. Replace power cell to begin ignition sequence.
It's like in the original game, when there was a combat encounter, like, you knew. They let you know when you were in danger. When you got killed, they definitely let you know.
Warning. Engine power failure. Replace power cell to begin ignition sequence.
Like, it's not bad at all. It's just, it doesn't have that scariness. And I feel like this would have been a good opportunity to add in a story or kind of enhance it.
Warning. Engine power failure. Replace power cell to begin ignition sequence.
Hard8 said the music in this game is beautiful. The music is there. The original game had those strings and it was intense. Like the sound mixing and the volume levels of the music. It took over. Like when enemies came in, you know, and you would have, it was like
Warning.
a horror movie.
Replace power cell to begin ignition sequence.
This, they kind of toned everything down. Everything is just toned down and kind of softened up. And so now,
Engine power failure. Replace power cell to begin ignition
hold on,
sequence.
let me shut this lady the fuck up. She wants some power cell. I have a hard time focusing on objectives and also talking. At least you have a line that shows you exactly where to go.
Warning. Engine power failure. Replace power cell to begin ignition sequence.
Alright, we need to get a power cell. Like, they made the game more open. You can go to back and forth to different areas, and it's not like there's this definitive
Power failure.
end to
Replace power cell to begin ignition sequence.
each chapter. And I feel like as you're spending more time kind of exploring and going around the ship, they could have done something extra with the story, and I guess they did. Like they do have the Nicole part. It's still pretty early. I am still early, and that was a nice touch. I did one of them where it says like some backstory about your wife. So that is a welcome addition. I do enjoy the side missions. I wouldn't mind if he like took his helmet off, like when you pick up an audio file or something, and he kind of like says something. They could have fleshed out his character a bit more.
Warning. Engine power failure. Replace power cell to begin ignition sequence.
But it's fine. I mean, it's not nothing in this game is bad at all. It's all good. Everything is good, and then the graphics and visuals are great.
Ignition sequence initiated. Please stand by.
Like the sound design and music is good. It's just it doesn't have that overwhelming stress factor. This thing has hella range. I can definitely appreciate that.
Fuel outlets secure. Please stand by. Priming ignition chamber. Please stand by.
Like they did good with this game. It's just not as scary. Oh shit. They got me. Yeah, Twitter is very toxic. I just stopped going on there as much. And then with ad block, I removed the what's happening section. Like all the news. I was tired of seeing all the political shit, shootings. So I took off the what's happening section, and then I don't use it on my phone. I deleted Twitter, the app on my phone. Because you can't remove it from there easily. And then it's just too much Twitter. I was looking at Twitter on my phone, I was looking at Twitter on my computer. Just too much Twitter. So I wouldn't say delete it, just cut back. I think when you delete an account that you've used a lot, anytime you delete something you put a lot of time into, usually you regret it. Like, how does it benefit you to delete it versus just not going on there anymore? And then, like, talking to people, I just don't argue with people anymore. It's too difficult. You end up having a 20 tweet argument. Never ends. They never see your point of view. You know what I mean? They never change their mind. Like, I'll post stuff and put my opinions out there, and then when people disagree with it, I just ignore it. There's just no point in arguing it.
Warning. Engine power failure. Replace power cell to begin ignition sequence.
But we're gonna save really quick, and I'm gonna get on the original game for a bit, because to illustrate the difference. And I think when you go back and forth is when you really see that the original is a lot, especially for people on the East Coast. We'll get back to the new one. Let's see. We left off right here. I had to play this when the game came out because of EA. We're about at the same part. That was chapter 3 we were on in the new game.
You've got two problems, and we're working on borrowed time here. First, there's no fuel in the engines. Second, the gravity centrifuge is offline, which means there's a couple of trillion tons of rock pulling us down. I need you to get that centrifuge operational. Refuel the main engine and fire it up so I can stabilize the ship's orbit.
Alright. Yeah, fuel up the ship, and I gotta get used to the new controls. The old controls, rather. See how it's not as dark, but the lighting is a lot more sheer. Okay, so here's that room we were just in. The new game darkened it up for sure. Make sure we got everything we need. And see, now these locked ones are no longer, like in the new game, they made it so that with a high enough security clearance, you can unlock it.
Personal log. Acting Chief Engineer Jacob Temple. It's been 2 days since they pulled that planet open, since my captain died. The panic, the riots, they were nothing compared with what came after. Our friends, our co-workers, started coming back. Changed, coming back to kill us, drag us away. Rucker disappeared this morning, and I have to assume he's dead. My crew, they're starting to crack. I'm trying to keep an eye on them, but right now I have bigger problems. We're hemorrhaging fuel, and the primary engine is laboring. Danvers and I are going to try to reach the fuel depot to see if we can fix it. Temple.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the new game. I'm definitely enjoying it. I feel like this has that edge. Let's compare. You can see the lighting. It's a more sheer and like harsh lighting than the original. See, look. Let's just use our Jesus Christ. See what I mean? Like, that kind of scared me. That did scare me a little bit. The new game has not scared me hardly at all. And just listen. Just be your own judge. Listen to the background sounds. It's like this game just... Jesus Christ. You guys see what I mean? Oh man, that sound is just so thuddy. It's like this game is just trying to kill you at all times, even when it's not. It's like it wants to kill you, even when it's not trying to. Listen. Listen to these sounds. The new game doesn't have this. Jesus Christ. See what I mean? Why did you shoot that in the air? This game is definitely louder. Let me know if I need to turn it down. I feel like I'm really a survivor in this game. I feel like Isaac is just limping along, just barely surviving.
Shut it. Engineering log. Temple reporting. Someone has shut off the fuel lines to the primary engine and damaged the valves in the process. They need to be repaired before I can reopen them, but we're running out of time. With the engine offline, orbit decay will begin in less than 10 hours. I just can't understand who would do this. If it's one of those crazy unitologist bastards, I'll break their neck.
They said they were coming. We never should have let them live.
Shut up, Danvers! Help me with the tools. Temple out.
Like, this is like a proper horror game. So, anyways, Dead Space. The original one is still great. I think it has an edge, but I do more than welcome the improved visuals, some of the new elements, side missions. just the fresh take on the game. It's modern, and I think they're both good to great games. Maybe the new one will have some surprises further down the line. Hopefully, there'll be some other twists and turns, and different takes on the classic formula. But overall, I would say definitely buy the game. If you're not sure, it's definitely worth $70 of your money. So, thank you for everyone for coming through and watching the stream. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Until next time, I'm gone. All right, hold on. You saying you just got here? All right, I can keep it going. We can definitely keep it going. I mean, when the chat slows down, I take that as, people are pretty much done. But yeah, we can keep it going if that's what the people want. I don't want to end it prematurely.
Refueling sequence activated.
Let's keep playing then. Let's keep playing. I definitely got more in me. I just know it is kind of late for Jesus fucking Christ. See that? That's horror right there. Look, they even have faces too. Look at their creepy little faces. It's like the whole room shakes with these enemies. Sound, music. Jesus, dude, that is creepy. Look at that. Holy fuck. The new one, it's like they're just some little blob. They do not look like that. We just played it. We just played this part. Look at this. It's like a little pet or something. Now let me take a screenshot of this. I do like to stream earlier, but The Last of Us kind of got in the way. You guys aren't talking about The Last of Us, did you? Did every episode? Great episode. I thought it was a wonderful departure. Beautiful episode. I was moved, I'll tell you that. I was moved. You like to take your time with the games. And yeah, I like to enjoy the game, but if I'm not that into it, I'm just going to go straight through. And see, the thing about going through and doing only the story is that the main story gives you the most. You get the most experience, you get the most abilities, weapons. You gain the most through the main story, and then you can go back later. But you also are skipping over a lot of stuff. So I kind of do whichever is best depending on the game. Like Forspoken, story was not enjoyable, so I just got through it, got it over with. Gotham Knights I got into a little bit more. I didn't want to miss anything. even though that story is not great. Yeah, I can see both ways. Whether you just play through the story, like Ghost of Tsushima, I just played the story only. Did not have a good time in that game, just wanted to get it over with. So I can see both points of view. Gotta activate something over here. I can see both points of view when it comes to how fast you go through a game.
Sufficient fuel to fire primary engine.
Whatever you did, it's working, Isaac. I have a fuel reading. It's only a quarter full, but that's enough to restore orbit once you bring the engines online. What the hell? False alarm. Thought I saw something.
Yo, what's up, Bill Bones? Yeah, Dead Space is good. I just got back on this one. The remake is good. Remake is very good. I just wanted to compare and to show what I'm talking about when I say this is a lot grittier. You feel a lot more like a survivor, like a victim. And we're gonna go into the part we're at the same part in both games. So now we're going to go into that room where we have to put the power supply device in the wall. The part I died on the remake. I guess I have to go this way. Yeah, playing through and just making a beeline for the ending. There's times where I will start off doing that and then I'll get into the game and kind of slow down. But you can always come back and play it again. You can get into your new game plus. It really just depends on the game. And there's times where I'll go slow through it, but I lose interest and it takes too long. Like I spend too long on it and then I just stop playing. And that's a danger too. Especially if the game is not that good. Like if I'm into the game, I will spend more time on it. But I don't think there's anything wrong with just playing the main story. I mean, you are experiencing the main story. That's the main reason to play the game. That part in the remake was not quite as frightening. Look at the character models. Like, look how gory and just disturbing it is. And the enemies, even though the environments, yes, look at this. The environments in the new one do look great, but the characters and the creatures, that is kind of a downgrade, because in the remake they're kind of blurry. so lifelike. Like it really just like comes out of the screen almost. It's creepy as fuck. And I keep injecting health when I wanna, and then listen to the music. This is not in the remake. I keep injecting health when I wanna reload. Yeah, the enemies and the aliens, that could have been better. Like the remake, they're kind of blurry. They kind of look worse. Once you beat a game, you don't want to replay it. Yeah, sometimes you don't. It depends on how good the game is. And a lot of times, the main story is longer than expected. Like you'll be trying to take your time, and it's like takes too long. And then you're kind of glad you just focused on the main story. That happens to me a lot. Like there's a point where I'm kind of ready to wrap it up. But again, the sooner you beat the game, the sooner you can move on to the end game. But I can see your point of view. Enjoy one game at a time instead of changing gears constantly. For me, one game just kind of gets old after a few days in a row. And when I play, I want something that feels fresh. I think we gotta go here. But I can totally understand that. Just focus on one. Yeah, The Last of Us Part 2 is difficult to just plow through, and that's just because it's a great game, or at least the gameplay is. Like, games that are difficult to just rush through, the developer understands pacing.
This is Temple. Now the centrifuge is offline. We've got 4 trillion tons of rock hanging off our ass, and without that centrifuge to balance the ship, the gravity tethers will pull us straight down to the colony. I'm heading in there now to see if I can fix it.
Like, developers who are good at pacing and adding like things that take more time and like diversions, you're not going to just be rushing through just straight to the ending. That's just good game design. Kind of like God of War. Like God of War Ragnarok ended up being a lot longer than I expected, and I only played the main story, and it was still like over 20 hours. See, like in this game, you have to use nodes just to reach other nodes. Like, it's just pointless. We'll increase our health. Increase the range of kinesis. Guess I'll increase the capacity of that. audio design is so beautiful in this. Alright, here's that decontamination. Let's see how the original game handles it. I'm sure we all can remember what we saw. Oh man.
Contamination sequence complete. Thank you for your patience.
Do I have any more stasis packs? What's the shortcut to use a stasis pack? Is there one? Because X uses health. Guess you just got to do it manually. The new game, the controls are a little more sensitive. Yeah, speedrunning is a cool hobby. Like the world record speedrun for Ocarina of Time is like 3 minutes or something. Yeah, speedrunning though, that's not for the average player. Like, there's no benefit for regular players to try to speed run. Like, for what? Alright, let's see if the drag tentacle... I think this is the drag part. We just saw this in the remake. Not very impressive. But let's see how the original handles it. I think it's like right around here. I thought it was.
Exiting zero gravity. Entering zero gravity.
See, in the remake, they had like the floor, it went like below, and you could like fly underneath it. This is a lot different. The new one is like bigger and more open.
Generator module attached. Generator module attached. Centrifuge power.
I got my controls all messed up. Alright, well I think we got the centrifuge plugged in. Yeah, see the remake is a welcome change in this area. And I like how it's bigger and just kind of more open. It's kind of a different style of a game. It fits like the new generation and the new kind of standard of video games. Right, let's get this thing turned on. I guess I need to go over there. Yeah, the flying is a nice change. Flying is definitely a nice change.
Reestablishing balance with planetary cargo. Gravity restored. Entering vacuum.
See, in the remake, it's like you have to run past it before it hits you.
You're doing great, Isaac. Centrifuge and gyros are both 100% and stabilized. Now get out of there and focus on the engine. I don't know how much time we have left.
Alright. I definitely don't have a whole lot of time left as the player. Where's the oxygen at? Oh yeah, shit. I'm dead. I forgot I can't jump across when it's zero gravity.
Centrifuge activated. Reestablishing balance with planetary cargo. Gravity restored. Entering vacuum.
You're doing great, Isaac.
I think I need to destroy
Centrifuge and
this.
gyros are both 100% and stabilized. Now get out of there and focus on the engine. I don't know how much time we have left.
Am I supposed to run all that ways? No, I'm just gonna die. There's no way. I think I'm supposed to go to the right. Isaac is gasping. Get some air real quick. Man, this man is about to die. My man is gasping like an old man. Just gotta add extra complications. Yeah, the original was definitely harder. More challenges, more dangers.
Exiting vacuum.
Whew, that was kind of stressful. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have some bad dreams. Bad dreams are more than welcome. Like, bad dreams mean you're sleeping well, because when you have vivid dreams, nightmares, that means you have a nice deep sleep, and that's when you go into that REM sleep. Rapid eye movement. You want to go into that deep REM sleep. And then it kind of takes your mind off of other things like nightmare. Oh shit, here we go. There's a drag tentacle. Okay, so it does stop at certain points. Okay, so I guess it isn't that long. But like, see how the reticle, like, whatever, it was, like I said, it's just two different styles of games. One of them's more modern, one of them's grittier. And bad dreams are definitely a good thing. You want your dreams to not be about real life. You just dream about the same problems that you have in the daytime. It's like they get bigger. You have nightmares about fiction, fantasy. That means something else is taking over your mind. That claw, bitch. A lot of times, though, I just forget the dreams as soon as I wake up. You can remember them when you wake up and like a little ways into the day. That's how you know.
Isaac, can you hear me? It's Kendra. They attacked me, I ran for it, and Hammond he just disappeared.
Kendra? Where are you?
Nice to see you're alive and well, Hammond. I've barricaded myself in the computer core. I can hear them moving outside, but I don't think they know I'm in here. I can launch into everything from here. I hacked the route and found some reports from the colony. Even before they cracked the planet, the colonists were experiencing widespread dementia. It seems to be related to some artifact they found on the planet. Something called the marker. I'll keep looking. I've got your location, and I'm going to unlock the door to fuel storage. You can get to the engine chamber from there.
Yeah, see, that's way more convincing than in the new game. At least it's different. They do have different actors, different character models. They did put work into it. But as far as the vibe, kind of the overall impact of everything, the new one just doesn't quite have that edge. Cyberpunk still needs third person. Yeah, I still don't feel like it does. I would play it. I would try it in third person. I feel like that first person is like there's so many little details in the environment, and then being face to face with other characters. First person allows you to see all that. First person is up close and personal. And then the quick hacks, shooting.
Entering vacuum.
So I don't have a problem with the first person.
Entering zero gravity.
Wow. So that's what they dug out. It's crazy that this ship can put a huge hole in a planet like that. The only thing though with Cyberpunk is that it can get a little slow sometimes. Very good storytelling. It just can be kind of slow. Shit, we got some enemies. Yo, I can't shoot? I'm dead. Well, I don't have a way to quickly put in an air can. And I just got overwhelmed. What's on the menu on my other tabs? And I got that R34, man. There's something about that animated. It's something about that animation and artwork. It's like a fantasy that you just don't get from like reality.
Entering vacuum.
Yeah, Isaac definitely got fucked up. Like this game is out to kill you.
Entering zero gravity.
The new one is out to get. The new game is out to give you a nice, comfortable, kind of spooky experience. This game is out to just fuck just fuck your life up. I guess I needed to just go over here. I got all turned around.
Exiting zero gravity.
I guess I kind of...
Exiting vacuum.
There's a couple ways you can get to different areas. I guess I need to go back out here.
Entering vacuum.
I'm gonna get back on the remake after I get to that engine room.
Entering zero gravity.
I guess I need to go here and then just walk in.
Exiting zero gravity. Exiting vacuum.
Christ. See, in Remake, that part was just loud. You didn't have all those flashing lights. Like, the sound in this is so sheer. The new one just gives you, like, loud. It's just, it's not artistically done.
This is Temple. Screw the engine. I can't restart it by myself, and with all the other shit going on, it's obvious this is sabotage. I'm heading for the bridge, and then I need to find Elizabeth. I gotta get her off this ship. It's not safe.
Yeah, it's damn sure not safe. It is damn sure not safe. Yeah, this is way grittier. All this, everything is just has more impact. Sound. The new one is like lighting wise, it's darker. They like this one has all this sheer flashing lights. Like it's just completely uncomfortable like the whole time. Whereas the new one, they toned that down and everything's kind of just darker and just has a more typical kind of darker, quieter, safer. It doesn't have this stressful lighting and sound. Here are these little bugs. Fuck these little bugs. Inventory full. Your inventory space fills up way easier in this. There's a lot that makes it kind of easier. And why is it so hard to figure out which way to go? Got all this stuff in here, but I can't carry it. Got a schematic I can't pick up. Is there a store anywhere near here? Shit. No more space. No more dead space. I think this enemy just got killed by the door. Thank you, boy. Appreciate it. Fuck these little bugs. I don't like bugs in real life, and I definitely don't like them in video games. Did I like episode 3? Yeah, I was trying to talk about The Last of Us, but a lot of people didn't seem like they had much to say about it. But yes, episode 3 was beautiful, excellent, a very welcome departure, very nicely done. A lot of surprises. I love how they did, you know, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but I love what they did with it. Something you didn't get in the game. Really, really loved it. Awesome episode. See how the camera like shakes? Like, yeah, there's a lot of stress in this game. Remember this part? This is the last thing that we played in the Remake. You guys can remember. We're just on this part. What is that special attack? I don't get what that does. Shoot it in the air? Got bugs. Bugs. That room I was stuck on. Yeah, episode 3, terrific. You don't care about spoilers? Yeah, so they showed Bill and Frank's life. We actually saw Frank, and we saw Bill's whole life starting from the outbreak. Like, you saw Bill like early in the outbreak, and they jumped ahead through various parts. They showed when he met Frank. They showed their whole relationship for like 20 years. And the community they lived in. Instead of just some rundown little back alley, he has like a proper neighborhood he took over. I guess he was doing pretty well for himself because he has some money. Like, he had a nice house. He was portrayed a lot differently than in the game, and Frank was really the more dominant character. Even though Bill has this kind of gruff exterior, he's really not as like in control as he was in the game. Like, he's not as capable almost. He's good at building fences. They showed some of that. Like, his whole persona from the game though was that Bill is a survivor. He builds traps. He's an asshole. He's portrayed as like a mechanic. His main skill is building stuff, survival. And they touched on that a little bit, but really his true calling is like a chef in this. He loves to cook, he has an artistic side, and he's really more of an emotional character, very different than in the game. And it was really Frank who was kind of leading things and was the level-headed one. Frank is really, you know, the decision maker and took things and he was the more influential character in their relationship. Yeah, a lot of that episode was pretty surprising. I loved it. Frank is a British actor too, like another British actor, because you see at the end, like, you know how they have the, you know, the making of, which I think are great. I love those parts at the end when they talk about, you know, how they approached this episode. All these British actors, video games, and everything. Am I liking the show more than the game? I kind of am. I was never crazy about the game, and at first I was really comparing the show to the game. Now, after episode 3, I feel like I'm going to start comparing the game to the show. Like, I think it's going to be hard for me to go back. Yeah, the show is just doing so much. It's not just, you know, sneaking through the spores area and killing a few enemies. And then once you do go through Frank's life, and there's a few things that didn't really make sense. Like, I guess Frank took the poison that, like, because Frank wanted to be poisoned, right? I guess he had cancer or some terminal illness. Now, usually, people are going to want to survive for as long as possible. And, you know, Frank, he had a good day, spent the day with Bill, had a nice gourmet meal, went shopping, and then he just decides to flush it all down the toilet and just kill himself. Like, I think he would hesitate at that point. Like, really? Like, I could still live for another year. But at the same time, Frank was he always had his mind made up. Like, he knew what he was doing. Bill was more kind of susceptible to kind of acting on emotion. Like, he was standing out in the middle of the open, shooting those invaders, not taking cover at all. And then he has no muzzle discipline, just pointing his gun in people's face. You know, cried a lot more than Frank did, and it seems like I like Bill, but he's just not that influential, you know, dominant character that he is in the game. And it's really Frank who always has his mind made up. So I guess that's how Frank wanted to go out, and I can kind of see that. And then Bill, you know, he going off of emotions. He's following the leader. Frank is really the leader in their relationship, and I guess he took all that poison But when did he do that? Did he do it before he walked in the room? Because he didn't put it in his glass, and that's where I was a little bit confused, because Frank was like, what did he say? Weren't there more pills in the bottle? And Bill was like, yeah, enough to kill a horse. So meaning like when he gave Frank the poison, Frank was like, oh, weren't there more? Like, this is all there is? So does that mean Bill took some of it? And then did he put it in the bottle? Because I didn't see him. He didn't put the poison in his glass. He just put it in Frank's. So when did Bill take the poison? Like before he walked in the room? Because what if Frank changed his mind and then Bill already took the poison? Or he put it in the wine bottle? I missed that. I must have missed that part. But point is yeah, that was just wonderful. And they both killed themselves. And then Joel and Ellie come in, and so instead of he's just there to help fix the car, their whole situation already ended. That was so great. That was the biggest deviation we've seen, major deviation from the show, and it still completely worked, and was just wonderful seeing those different time periods. We didn't see that in the game. We didn't see any other time periods in the game. This was really nice. Nice change.
Ignition sequence initiated. Please stand by.
Show. Jesus Christ. This game does not let you relax. The developers of the remake said you won't get a second to breathe. Nah, you get plenty of time to breathe and chill. This game doesn't give you a second to breathe. You get the sense that you're just supposed to be dead in this game. I'll be right back, you guys. Alright, I'm back. Sam and Henry's story. Yeah, Sam and Henry's part. Every major part, I'm going to be very curious to see how they interpret in the show. Yeah, Frank and Bill. I could have watched some more. And it was a long episode too. I guess they're just gonna make the episodes as long as they need to make them. This was a lower budget episode, clearly, but it didn't feel like it. It didn't feel like it was missing anything. It didn't feel low budget at all. Cinematography is top notch. Top notch.
Engines firing.
Jesus fucking Christ. Listen to this. God damn. Really be in here? Big ass engines going off. I guess we did what we came here to do.
It's working. We're online and functional. Finally, some good news. Get a tram to the bridge, Isaac. I'm gonna take us back into a geostation.
Wait, we're not safe yet. Ship's asteroid defense system is offline. On the way up, the ship's going to pass through a debris field thrown up from the planet crack. We'll be ripped to pieces unless you restart it.
God damn it. I'll start working on it from here. Isaac, meet me at the bridge. You can do more good here than I can.
Alright. Well, we saved the ship from falling into the planet. Am I gonna kill myself if a zombie apocalypse happens? Most likely I wouldn't kill myself in almost any situation. I think in life or death situations, you're programmed to choose life. Even if there's no hope whatsoever. People are not really going to do that just because. Maybe if you're in a burning building, you're gonna burn to death, you might jump out. But like, just pick up a gun and randomly shoot yourself because
Isaac.
Everything's falling apart.
Isaac, where are you? It's me, Nicole.
I probably wouldn't just randomly kill myself. Alright, finally we can go to a store. What the fuck is this over here? Jesus! Yeah, the new game doesn't do that. Alright, let's see if we can sell some stuff. Take all these air cans. Just sell these. buy a couple of power nodes. Should we get the Ripper? We have the flamethrower. Let's see. Yeah, you definitely get a lot more inventory slots in the remake. And this is comparing suits at the same level. There was that room that I used a power node to open. It had like a whole bunch of shit. I kind of like to get back there. But oh well. Gotta meet Hammond on the bridge. Yeah, the original Dead Space definitely has a charm to it. But we are gonna go back, since this stream is meant to be. Shout out to Quick Resume. Yes, definitely. Alright, same exact part, only now in the remake. Yeah, see, we have all these inventory slots. I think that's a good change. I mean, it's kind of an action game. I don't think it needs to be like Resident Evil. Now I should know how to actually activate it, but unlike the other one, it looks like it's kind of set up differently, so we need to power it up. This is a game where you feel like you could just kind of relax and spend some time in.
Initiated. Please stand by.
Alright, now the engines are firing up. See, look at the characters. They don't have as much. Fuck me. They don't have as much detail. They're not as creepy looking.
Ignition chamber. Please stand by. Engines ready. Please confirm ignition order.
It is very smooth, though. It's very smooth. It's still fun. It's still very fun. Alright, let's fire up these engines. See how the engine firing compares. That original felt like Felt like we were about to just get destroyed.
Ignition order.
Fire up these engines. This time it's up here. I like the changes. Alright. So it doesn't quite feel like we're about to be burned to an absolute crisp. It looks so good though. Not as scary. See, that original, I thought we were just gonna get turned into charcoal, but this is kind of just like a more of a heater turning on.
Isaac, you did it. The Ishimura's moving again.
Okay, whoever said it, take the fuck out of these engines.
You bought us time to figure it out. Autopilot's taking us into geostationary orbit.
Wait, you're flying us through the planet crack debris?
That's what the asteroid defense system is for.
But the ADS is offline. I've got the system readouts here.
Damn it, Ishimura's in rough shape. A couple of bad strikes, they finish her off.
Shit. Daniels, give me all the data you have. I'll try to adjust course. Isaac, you disable the tram lockdown from engineering. I'll open up the bridge station. Meet me there. We need to work on this together.
Alright, yeah, that's definitely not as effective. First of all, that alien was in here. Yeah, it's like there's not that intrigue, and I mean, you saw it for yourselves what the original was bringing to the table. It's just too clean, too safe. But at the same time, I do appreciate the newer features. These are two different games, man. Two different styles. They both have their place. They both have their place. I definitely can do without Isaac. Like how he chimed in and, you know, had something to say. I definitely don't need to hear that, especially when he just doesn't sound very.
Nicole? I'm here. Nicole!
I'm not a fan of Talking Isaac whatsoever, not with the voice he has. It sounds like high-pitched and just forced in. I think it worked way better when other characters were talking to Isaac. But you just gotta take the good with the bad. Here we go with that enemy, just like in the original, but in this case, way less scary. And another one. Okay. Get some ammo because I have running out of ammo left and right. Get a power node. Let's put on a different suit. I'm not a fan of different suits in skins in games a lot of times, but since we're live, one or the other one. Freshen up our experience a bit. Alright, so we got the Maker suit. Got the Bloody suit, the Venture suit, the Infested suit, the Lone Survivor suit, and the Dead Space 08 Legacy rig. We'll wear this one for now. Video games have become more mainstream. I think mainstream video games are like Fortnite. Whenever I talk about video games, like a lot of people don't play, but if they do, it's usually Fortnite that they mention. Minecraft. Chapter 3 complete. Some of the sound is good. The sound design is good. Yeah, see, it's like bigger. It's like bigger and smoother. It's just... I like it for what it is. It's more refined. But I don't know if video games like... I guess they've become... See, The Last of Us, no one knew about it, and now it's more well known because of the show. Like, that's... The game didn't do that. I don't know, I think video games are still video games. I think there's still a hobby. I think there's still things that a lot of people don't play, know nothing about.
Now arriving at the bridge.
Like Tomb Raider and Resident Evil became household names. Tomb Raider and Resident Evil are the only games that...
Isaac, I'm looking at the ADS cannons. They're a mess. I'm gonna need your help. I am not losing the Ishimura. Not now.
The Ishimura, Hammond, or the marker?
That artifact they found?
Don't bullshit us. CEC knew all along about the marker, didn't they? Isn't that why you're really here? Corporate wouldn't send the Ishimura for some off-the-books mining. But alien technology, yeah, that fits.
And how does losing my team fit into this theory?
Hey, knock this shit off. We're into the debris field. We get the ADS back together, or it's over.
Then meet me at the captain's nest. Daniels?
Fine. But I'm going through the ship reports, Hammond. I'm getting some answers.
All right, so they're trying to refresh the story. It doesn't hit the same, but at least it's something different. Like Tomb Raider and Resident Evil are the only games I can bring up to people, and most people have heard of them, and that's because of movies. It's really like movies and TV series that are mainstream, and when they adapt a game, like when they turn a game into one of those, then people have heard of it. But the game, it's like all these next-gen graphics and realistic games, and yet they're not selling that much more. They're not recognized, or I don't think they've gotten more mainstream. I think video games were at their peak mainstream on the 360. At least the video games that we are into, single player, realistic graphics. You know what I mean? The only games that have really become more mainstream is like Battle Royale and maybe GTA. But you bring up video games to your average person, you're either going to get, like, they don't play them, know absolutely nothing about them, or... Oh, shit. See, that scared me a little bit. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Good job, guys. Motive, right? Or Massive, who makes this? Good job, people. Developer. That was pretty good. But regular video games, I don't think they've become more mainstream. The God of War show and Horizon show. Yeah, the shows. Series, TV, that's mainstream. The Witcher. Without those, people still haven't heard of the games. You know, even like the biggest games, like The Witcher, The Last of Us, without the shows, people still have not heard of them. You bring those up before the TV and movies, they wouldn't know what you're talking about. But it is a very cool moment to hear people, like the mainstream general public, mention one of your favorite games, like The Last of Us. Like, that would be cool. Like, if you like go around in public and you hear people bring up The Last of Us, that is cool. That is a really cool thing. But that was only done because of the show. Like, the games are not getting themselves into mainstream status. Even the huge sellers like The Witcher 3, Red Dead 2, Spider-Man.
Containment measures activated.
You okay? At least containment and life support are holding. So far.
Kendra and Hammond, the way they're portrayed in this game, it's like they almost remind me of like Call of Duty characters. Alright, well, the asteroid part is coming up, and let's hope it's not ridiculously hard. Yeah, I don't think video games have really gotten that much more mainstream. The The Last of Us show brought new factions player. It brought new... The Last of Us show brought new factions players. More people are going to play the single player. I think the games improved the viewership of the show. I don't think the show is gonna bump up the game. Just like any movies, like the Assassin's Creed movies, or you know, whatever else they're making, like more.
Sorry. Shoot.
No, keep that rifle close. What is that?
The one that attacked me. I managed to trap him in here. His face. I'm not seeing things, right? That's Chen.
You can't help him, Hammond. He's...
You're right. I should... The hell with it.
Escape pod 47 launched.
I worked with him for years. Johnston, too. At least she was spared becoming a monster.
We're gonna fix this, Hammond. For them.
Yeah. Come on. The ADS cannons.
It'd be cool if they made a reference to how hard they are, like, oh, hopefully this won't be too hard.
If no more asteroids come through the roof.
They should definitely make some kind of self-reference to this infamous asteroid shooting part. I think video games were at their peak
All
of...
I can tell is the ADS power routing is shot.
Oh, shut the fuck up and let me talk, bitch.
Administration systems aren't doing much. We could redirect power from there. I'd need to rewire the junction boxes, but we get the ADS cannons back.
This dumbass, half-assed Talking Isaac. Fuck Talking Isaac.
About what Daniel said. I don't know about any illegal mining or the marker. I swear, I'm just here for a repair mission.
Look, Hammond, I don't know you or Daniels well enough to judge, but CEC had to know about the marker.
The company made it, but shit like that's above my pay grade. Look, we can get into it later. You'll need a way down to those junction boxes. You can turn the atrium elevators back on from security. You'll have full access. I found a CEC executive keycard. I'll upgrade your clearance.
And you upgraded yours already?
Yeah, just in case. And Isaac? I heard something up there. Something big. Watch your back.
Alright, so do we shoot the asteroids yet? Security clearance is now level 2. See, I do like this more open kind of environment and increasing security access. This game, you just got to take the good with the bad. But anyways, yeah, I think video games were at their peak mainstream.
Remember, you'll need to reactivate the elevators from security.
On the 360. You had HD was a huge thing. You had the consoles had Blu-ray players. Call of Duty was taken off. That was huge. Call of Duty was accessible, relatable to Americans, Western audiences. A lot of franchises have their best-selling game on the 360, like Resident Evil or Assassin's Creed. And the newer Assassin's Creeds are doing well, but those were big on the 360. Battlefield. Like the 360 was the generation of shooters. God of War, Halo, those were all more successful on the 360. Halo was a household name, right? Like even teachers at school, like they kind of wondered what Halo is, but they've heard of Halo. Call of Duty. Like everybody had a 360, and you know, you come over to people's house, you play the 360. And now it's become, like when you look at a game like this, you think, oh, surely it's more mainstream, it's cinematic. But more people are not playing these games. Like the sales have not increased that much. And they do not have more mainstream appeal. The only games that have really become kind of mainstream is like Fortnite, Minecraft. But these type of games, I don't think they've become more mainstream. I think HBO and streaming services and TV series have become mainstream, and it made sense to adapt the video games into them. See, now we're getting somewhere. Oh, run the fuck away. Now I'm starting to appreciate it. You just gotta play it more. It doesn't have that impact and scare factor, and the storytelling is kind of weak. I think that's downgraded. But the game itself, the gameplay, environments.
Quarantine lifted.
It is starting to wake me up a little bit. Hopefully that continues.
Security request retrieved.
Security, come in! We've been boarded! I repeat, the ship has been boarded! We are under attack! They've killed most of the deck staff! Where the hell is Steve Benson? We need security backup now! Guns are useless, What in God's name is that?
What in God's name is it? It's like books. Like there's books have become popular. Reading is a big hobby, and there's a lot of books that have adapted to movies, and like, so you could say that like in the 2000s, that books were becoming more mainstream with Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, The Notebook, and a whole, Passion of the Christ. That's based on a popular book. People were saying books were becoming more mainstream, and they kind of were. People were more into reading, but I don't think it's really. I think they've already reached their maximum mainstream appeal, and like now, it's just kind of, it's still like a hobby. A lot of books people haven't heard of, like you mentioned, like what's the best-selling book right now? Most people don't know. Like the newest authors or the biggest, most popular authors. Most people haven't heard of them. But like the biggest movies, biggest actors, musicians, people have heard of them. Like, when is the last time you saw a game director on, like, the news, or video games on the news, or, like, the director of a game on a talk show, or an actor in a video game on a talk show? It's like they've become more specialized, if anything.
Warning. Multiple security protocols have been corrupted. Some areas may be inaccessible. Recommendation. Acquire department rig permissions and compile master security override at this console.
We gotta find a bunch of rigs before we can shoot some asteroids, I guess. Got side missions. The Ishimura's internal security is pretty fucked up. If I can create a master security override, it'll give me access to sealed areas and whatever supplies are left. That could be interesting. We gotta get to security. They did a good job building the game, but when it comes to the scare factor and the story, although there are there's some originality, I think the first game still definitely holds its own in certain areas. So video games have become bigger budget, more cinematic, more sophisticated. But so to us, we see that and oh, that's, they're more popular, they're more polished. But when you look beyond that, more people have not heard of popular games. You know what I mean? Your favorite games, most people still haven't heard of them. A lot of mixed reactions about episode 3. I mean, if they followed the show, it would have just been Ellie and Joel show up, he fixes a car, and they leave. Is it because the gay stuff, and that did throw me off, like when they kissed, and I was like, oh man, this is just Neil Druckmann's fantasy. He just probably couldn't wait to do this. But the more I watched and I saw Bill and Frank, like they did so good. So great. So just relatable. They have this nice home, even though it's the apocalypse. Frank and Bill still appreciate the little things in life, and so you saw like their humanity and someone else's take on surviving the apocalypse, not just being an asshole, stealing, killing. No, you saw these two guys have this whole other life that had nothing to do with the outside world. They have other interests, cooking, and then they incorporated Ellie and Joel into it, and when you got to that part, that was really, really great. Once it does come back to Ellie and Joel later on, and you saw Tess again, that was cool. Didn't expect to see her again, so we might see some of these characters come back in moments like this. I love the ending though. It was cool that Ellie and Joel show up. I mean, Joel and Tess show up kind of in the middle to kind of, connect the Bill and Frank situation to the outside world, and Joel tries to get Bill to open his doors to, the outside, to Boston. I think it was important to see that they're still in this apocalypse, because it's a nice neighborhood that they're in, but then to see the Fedra coming through and the Raiders try to mess up their situation, and it was the right amount. You know what I mean? it was enough of a departure and a break so that we could see Bill and Frank. But they didn't just totally leave out the Last of Us universe, and then to have it end with Ellie and Joel, and it started with them. That was just perfect. The bookends are there, and then he reads the note, and then you get that dialogue that you remember so well from the game, where Joel is telling her, "I'm the one who's in charge here. What I say goes. You don't ever bring up tests." And this just made Ellie and Joel so much closer and better. Just loved it. I love the episode. You know, Neil Druckmann and his super duper liberal priorities, I'm sure he just couldn't wait to get that scene filmed. But I mean, Bill is gay. Like, he is gay. So I think it fit the characters. I think it fit the situation. It wasn't just out of nowhere. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I think it made sense. There was justification for it. You know what I mean? And then it just made their whole relationship that much more real. So that's what I have to say about it. I loved it. As far as this game, I'm loving a lot of stuff, but I am still definitely going to hold on to the original for that story and that grittiness. Neil supervised it personally. I'm sure he did. I'm sure Neil was zoomed way in on his personal camera, taking notes. Why was Frank in a wheelchair? Because he had like cancer or some debilitating... Oh, you mean Bill? Oh, yeah, no, Frank. Yeah, right. Because he had a terminal illness. Because Bill said, like, there's not just going to be some random MRI salesman coming to the door, because he was trying to convince Frank not to commit suicide. And so he mentioned MRI, so he has like either cancer, but then Bill said like there was no cure for this even before the outbreak. So I'm not sure what exactly Frank had, but it was a debilitating terminal illness. I'm not sure how they knew that, and that's the only thing. Like, they don't have science, technology. They're not doctors. I don't know how they knew, but I guess they could just kind of tell he was going downhill. I kind of don't see how someone would just kill themselves after having such a nice day. You know, I thought he might have changed his mind, but once again, Frank is a character who always has his mind made up, and is really more of the leader in their relationship. And so they both just decided to kill themselves. You're at the end of the episode. Shouldn't you be paying attention to the show? Like, are you trying to watch this when and a live stream? I mean, it is a show that's worth putting your undivided attention into. How did they survive another 10 episodes? Another 10 years. I mean, they just held out in the community and survived. Like, we don't know exactly when Frank started going downhill. Like, a lot of those diseases, like, it could have onset. It could have started like sometime in between, like 2013 and then the present day. Yo, pay attention to the show, Bill Bones. Like, this is a show that you want to turn off the lights, put on your headphones. Don't even worry about the live stream. Especially if it's the first time watching the episode. Like, pay attention to the show. You can come back and watch this later. Anyways, that's about all I have to say about this. As far as AGS goes, that's neither that's not a crucial factor for me. You know, if I go back on sometime, I do. If not, oh well. I can definitely live without AGS at this point. I probably am gonna delete that drama video. You know, it is unnecessary. So maybe me and Heartache can work something out. But yeah, shout out to everyone who came through and watched. Hit the thumbs up if you liked the video, and we'll do this again. And I'm gone.